What's going on, guys? Kit Bash here, bringing you another video. This time it's of a minor modification I do sometimes using hot glue. It helps like certain heads fit better. Like say the head's loose, it'll help the head fit more snug. It makes a softer ball socket for the head. These are two figures for examples that I've done it with. Apocalypse, his head is casted and painted. I didn't cast it, but I painted it. This head's from Casting Cave. And this is the Lightning Collection Green Ranger 2-pack with the putty. This head sat a lot. It sat really low, and I didn't like it. So I looked up a bunch of reference pictures, and it goes back and forth. Like sometimes his neck is normal, and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes his neck's like that. It just depends on the reference pictures you look at and stuff like that. I wanted mine to sit higher, so I'm gonna show you what I did. My hot glue gun's not plugged in. I'm never prepared for these videos, but I'm gonna pop this head off and that head. I'm gonna pop this head and that head off to show you how I did it. So like I said, it makes a fake ball socket for the peg, and it's really simple. So if you can see in there, let me get this to focus. If you can see in there, I just put hot glue in there. So what you do is you take, say this is the hot glue gun, you fill this up with hot glue while it's hot. Well, before all that, let me backtrack and tell you what to do with the peg first. So with this peg right here, you want to take some sort of Vaseline or some kind of lubricant so the hot glue doesn't stick to the peg in the head. You don't want it to stick because you want that hot glue to be loose enough so you could turn the head and tilt and pivot and stuff. So you want to lubricate this head. I put Vaseline on mine. Any kind of grease will work. Vaseline. I want to say like anything, pretty much Vaseline or petroleum jelly. It's the same thing. But yeah, you put some of that on this peg. You put the hot glue. You put the hot glue in the head like that. You put just enough to fill it up. You don't overdo it. So you put your hot glue in there just enough to fill up the hole, and then you take it and you set it on there. For this one, I didn't want to go down too far, so pretty much with this one, it filled the normal peg with hot glue, and I just put the peg on and I stopped it where I wanted it to stop. And then once it dries, you let it dry. You don't mess with it when it's hot. So you let this dry, and then you move the head around. So like this one, I put and that's what the grease is for, like I said, so the hot glue doesn't stick to the peg. Put the grease on the peg, and then you insert the peg into the head while the hot glue's hot. And then you get all the swivel and everything. Like there's nothing, has the same range of articulation. It's actually a little bit more articulation because it's not hitting the shield anymore. So yeah, that's the one I did for him, for his longer neck. And it works really good. The head sits higher, and as long as this figure doesn't get like super hot, the glue's not gonna mess up or anything. I used the same method for him. This was a casted head by Casting Cave. I actually used a lot less hot glue in this one because the peg was already, I think I shaved it down a little bit. I shaved down the peg a little bit, and it fit. It was just really loose. So like I said, for this one, the example is different because the peg was fine for this one, but the head was too low. So you can use it to raise heads, or in this case, you can use it to tighten ball pegs. You can use it to tighten ball pegs on the heads too. So, like I said, if the head's too loose, you just pop that on. I think I just messed this one up too. I mean, it fits all right. It's for my needs, so yeah. But it pops right on. Like I said, it still retains all the same articulation. He looks up and down. He looks really far down. Tucks his head into his neck piece, but he looks up and everything. You don't lose anything, and I did the same thing. I lubricated this joint, put hot glue in there, and I popped it on. Oh, this joint's still lubricated too. That's crazy. But yeah, I popped it on, and it's fine. I might have to redo it because this one's popping off a bit. But as far as it goes, it's not going to come off. Like, it's not falling off or anything. But yeah, really simple method. There's really nothing to it. Like I said, I had a guy on my Instagram ask me how to do it. So I really hope this video helps. It's, I wouldn't say trial and error because it's, like I said, it's straightforward. You really can't mess it up unless you put too much hot glue. So one more time, I'm going to show you I'm gonna show you. I only pop it off slow because I don't want to mess up. I know the glue's gonna come back, but you can stretch out hot glue. You put the hot glue in the head. Like for instance, this one, I filled up the normal peg, the normal hole in there with hot glue, and just came out a little bit because I wanted this head to sit higher. And then once you fill that, once you fill this up, like I said earlier, you want to grease this first. I should have probably said that first. You want to grease this with some kind of petroleum jelly or any kind of lubricant you can. And then after you do that, I suck at explaining stuff, as you can see. After you lubricate this, you want to put the hot glue in the head and then pop it on the body while it's hot. So while that hot glue is hot, you pop it on and you let that sit. You let that sit, you let the hot glue cool off, and then once it's cool, I say give it about 5 to 10 minutes. Let it sit, let it cool off completely. Once it's cool, you move it around, and then you just check your range, and then once it's sit, let it sit for like 5 or 10 minutes more, and then you'll pop it off and go from there. And sometimes you'll put too much glue and have some overhang, and that's when you can go in and cut it out and do what you got to do. But like I said, this is a really simple method. It's used for popping off joints, for raising heads and snugging the joint, the ball socket in the head. So there's plenty other applications. Like you can use this same hot glue trick on baths. Like for example, if the arms fall out, some baths, when you rotate the arm, this will just randomly fall out. Even if you push it in hard enough, it'll still pop out. You can use this same technique on those pieces, and I'm gonna show you how it works. So I'm gonna use these Wendigo pieces because I don't want to disassemble my Apocalypse bath. So you take your hot glue and you can either dab it in here first in the socket, or you can put it on here and then you jam it in here. You jam it in just like that. You let it cool, or you could do it while it's a little bit warm. You wiggle it, and from my experience, they stay in. Like you don't have to worry about it popping out and stuff like that. I've done it to a couple baths. I think I sold the baths I did it to. I think the Green Goblin bath was one, and my Sasquatch bath was one where it didn't work. But yeah, you do that. You could do it for these pegs too. And some figures, like I had my Everett Ross. I don't have it anymore. But my Everett Ross, his leg, when you swiveled it, it would just pop right off. Or if the leg is, what was that other one I did it for? I did it for another mod on the leg. Oh, if this is loose. So same thing for Everett. My Everett Ross, like I would rotate just like that and the leg would pop off. If that happens, or you have a loose thigh swivel, you can do the same thing with the hot glue. You pop the leg off, you put the hot glue in the socket, and then you plug it on, you let it cool, and then you rotate it, and it should be good to go. The hot glue is great for making, like, I don't want to say false joints because it's like an actual joint, but it's great for filling in that gap. Because these plastics all the time I don't want to say they shrink, but they don't always do the right job that they're made for. So the hot glue, it perfectly molds to what you need to do inside these figures. I've done it a few times with leg joints and head joints and arms on baths and everything. So in my experience, it works pretty good. But yeah, you can use this method however you want. You don't have to do it this way. Some people I know a guy, he uses Procreate to do the same thing because it's more permanent. But Procreate's not soft. As far as I know, it dries pretty hard. They also have this stuff called Green Stuff. That's like a softer sculpting material you can probably use it with too. However you want to do it. Hot glue is the cheapest way. You can get a hot glue gun from the dollar store, Family Dollar, anywhere. So that's probably the cheapest way and the easiest way to do it. And it was the method that I was taught. So yeah, that's how you do the hot glue trick for the heads and arms and whatever you want. It works really well. I don't have an issue. Like I said, as long as the figures don't get super hot, the head should stay on the body. Like as you can see, I'm holding this by the head. It's not going anywhere. I'm literally pulling on it. I have to put some force on this for it to pop off. But yeah, the hot glue tricks works really well. Hope this video helped you guys. Hope I was able to explain it enough for you guys to understand it and show you the stuff so you guys could pretty much understand it. I really hope you guys try this for yourself. Trial and error. I hope you fail first so you can succeed the second time. Failure is the best teacher you can have. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share these videos. That helps a lot. Bring some eyes to the channel. Check out my Instagram. Link will be in the description. Facebook page will be in the description. Thanks for watching.